like understanding the rules will help you see, the next time Natalie watches Cass and Isla, my two other kids, play each other, she'll understand why Cass won or Isla won. But if you want to succeed in the market yourself, you have to know the strategy. You have to figure out, okay, not only are these the rules, but this is what I should do to get what I want. And it was like, that is the allegory for the book. There are all these markets. I call them hidden markets, where price is not the thing that decides who gets what. It's not the typical econ story that we're used to, where you just, you go into the store, you pay for it or not. There's some other set of rules that decides who gets what. And if you want to understand the world well, you have to understand how those markets work. And if you want to succeed in those markets, get the scarce resource that is being doled out, you also have to know what strategy you should play. And so that like kind of cracked it for me. It's like, okay, this is an allegory for all of the kind of environments that we're in. They will be more important than getting the last can of seltzer or getting the television remote, but the same dynamic is at play.
Yeah. And did it surprise you when you were like, "Oh, whoops, I missed a step of, like I gave her the rules, the understanding, right? But I forgot like, oh, you can't just go scissors every time."
I mean, for a 4-year-old, the fact that she picked up the rules, I wasn't
Yeah.
disappointed, but it kind of made me realize that, if I wanted to write a book about this topic, I should give both, right? Because I think as academics, we are used to saying, let me explain how the world works. Let me show you, like, let me explain to you, in the book, the kinds of rules that allocate stuff are the centralized clearinghouses, like we talked about for organs, or my kindergarten, elementary school example. But it's also things that we're used to playing in a lot, so are very familiar to us, like first come, first serve races, where you have to be the first person to click on something, to get it. First come, first serve waiting lists or lines, mechanisms that rely on lotteries for allocation, mechanisms where or environments where there's kind of two sides, where you have to choose somebody or some institution and they have to simultaneously choose you, and kind of you're both market participants. Like, all of these situations are ones where, it's not enough to just be like, let me explain how the system works and how, why we do it things this way and what does it achieve and not achieve. But like, if you're a participant in that market, I want to get a very desirable, a reservation at a very desirable restaurant. If I want to help somebody succeed in that market, they have to also know what strategies to play, as opposed to just saying like, this is how it works.
Huh? Yeah, so when we talk about, I mean, when you talk about the strategy aspect, how how do people know if they're playing the right strategy prior to, say, a final outcome occurring?
Yeah. So I think this is the a key thing, which is that I wanted to get across in the book, but just kind of, but just in general, right? I want people to feel empowered and confident in these environments. So I want them to know that they're doing the right thing. And sometimes doing the right thing, you're not going to get what you want, right? Sometimes the optimal strategy is, I'm going to do a thing where there's some low probability of getting what I want, but maybe I will succeed. And so, you can think about it with the rock, paper, scissors example, right? If the optimal thing is to randomly pick between scissors, rock, or paper, unless you know that your opponent, isn't doing that, right? If your opponent mostly plays scissors, then you should play paper more often. Um, and so, that's the optimal strategy for you. You will not always win rock, paper, scissors playing the optimal strategy, right? You will, if you're playing against somebody who's also playing the optimal strategy, you will win a third of the time, lose a third of the time, and tie a third of the time, kind of by definition. So really what's important is knowing that you are kind of feeling confident in the strategy that you're playing, and feeling like, kind of thought through what you should do and are implementing that. And you either get it or you don't, but you at least know you kind of gave yourself the best chance.